and wine.
Whiskey, wine, and wisdom time.
Yeah! Oh,
Oh shit.
here it comes.
Oh shit.
And James.
Episode 23, we got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. It's a good time in a young man's life, I'd imagine. Not being a young man, I can't really say that, but episode 23, we got there, man. We did it.
Yeah.
Looks like we made it.
To celebrate,
Yeah.
tequila with
Oh,
chilies.
We've got. He's what? Oh mate, it's all swollen up. So I'll just explain this to you. So because it's ideal for podcast. James has got this chili. Was it chili tequila?
It's chili tequila with just tequila and just chili. Nothing else in there.
Probably some fruity bollocks in there too. And
Yeah.
then he's dehydrated some chilies, haven't you?
Some jalapeno peppers.
Jalapenos, and he's whacked them in the tequila. So we have jalapeno, chili, tequila, fruity bollocks.
Yeah.
It's been sitting there chilling on ice for the last 20 minutes. So this should be
Cheers.
clink jam. Oh,
Oh,
warm.
oh. There we go. Bit burpy.
Oh dear.
Well, that's
That's
fun.
nice. That's nice.
Good
Yeah.
start. It's a good start to
It's a
23.
good start. We did it. 23. The important time in a young podcast life.
Yeah.
When they can finally drive a car. I don't know. It's kind of nothing. So nothing time. It's nothing age. 23 is nothing. It's bullshit.
Nah.
This week we didn't declare it, but I was doing new metal because tomorrow is the annual bandbarbecue, and I've got a new metal covers band. I'm going to talk to them, so there may be sections of this that include them. But I thought new metal's a genre. We could talk about that. And James is doing.
Oh, my categories. I'm really sorry, but I get honestly.
Skanky bastard.
I've discovered recently that peppers, jalapenos,
Jalapeno.
exclusively that brand, gives me hiccups and I burp a little bit. But my category this time is strange and weird-looking musical instruments and such.
So you just still stick into that musical genre, just working your way around.
Yeah, I thought I'd look at some things.
Reaching around, if you will.
Yeah, reach around, have a little grab and tickle.
All right. So 1, 2, spaff. We get straight to it.
Yep, ready? 1, 2, spat. Oh, Jesus.
I'm a scissor and he is a piece of paper. I've beaten you at least 10 times in a row now.
Every time.
It's been like 10 weeks. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's actually absurd, actually. I'm sorry to the people of France who... Can I just say...
Oh, there we go.
Too timely. No. Fucking Olympics, man. They smashed the shit out of that introduction.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Go Gira on the fucking, on the castle with the headless mince and the fucking golden boat and the fire and the... That's the most awesome intro. I couldn't believe that. Go Gira. Go Gira.
I was very, very taken aback by it. I mean, I knew that they were French. I don't know much about them, but it's like, shit, yeah, well done. Welcome.
Fair play. Over here, we just got, like, Brian May on a castle. Like, over there, they got fucking Go Gira. It's like... we're the home of metal. We never acknowledge it. We're a bunch of old dickheads.
Yeah.
Just like, I remember Del Boy, and he's just Del Boy. Remember that bit when he fell off behind the bar? Oh, that was the peak comedy that was. Open all hours, yeah, woo. And that's what we talk about. And over there, they're like, Gojira, they're fucking hot shit. Let's do that. And like, traditionally, Europe's supposed to be behind Britain, like the West. I suppose you got like Western music, like America and England. And we're the frontier, and then you get like David Hasselhoff is crushing it in Germany. You're like, okay, they're a little behind the times. They'll catch up soon. Don't worry, guys. They're still wearing leather jackets, unironically. but like, they're just like, oh no, it's flipped. We're the old, we're just like, yeah, we live in nostalgia, and they're just like, go Gira, hanging out a castle. It was sweet. Anyway, well done France, and obviously 1/16 of James is French, so it's 5th, 9th. Segment of James, a pizza slice of James's identity is French.
So when I was listening back to the last podcast, it made it sound like I was a proper mongrel. Oh, you're this, oh, you're that, you're a little bit of this. No.
Little bit of money.
little bit of Ireland from my dad, a little bit of Français from my mum, a little bit of Chatham where I'm born. That's it. A little bit of Strood where I lived, and Bjorn.
Not bad.
Not related to Bjorn.
No, Bjorn.
That wouldn't be too bad.
Good shout. Well done, Bjorn.
Yeah.
Bjorn the Hughes. The Bjorn.
Go to Duke to Duke.
The Duke, the Bjorn, the Goose. He's not even Swedish, he's Norwegian. I don't know why we do it. I just like, it's close enough. It's close enough. That'd be like if you sort of say, hello, I'm British. And they're like, oh, would you like to kiss my shillelagh, would you? That's exactly, it's like they're further away than we are to Ireland.
Yeah.
Bunch of uncultured bastards we are.
Right, well, you need to new my metal up. New.
Okay.
New.
Now, honestly, I've got some are just like interesting facts, but there's not. Most of it is just I'm just going to waffle about new metal because I think it's as a genre, it's a bit of a. Well, like I'll talk broadly about it. My first fact, I'm just going to talk broadly about. So, new metal at the time was. It was. I remember because I was aware of it as it was coming up to its, as it was still on the way up, right? So you're a few years younger than me, but I remember like in '99, and I remember like certain albums coming out, and I was like, oh damn, oh okay, because grunge was still. Grunge didn't catch me. Nirvana was like just washed. I was like, yeah. I mean, Nevermind's a good album, but I wasn't like I didn't get the full chub for it like that. And then new metal come along, and I didn't get straight to Korn, but like Limp Bizkit was interesting, and then there was a bunch of sort of like lower tier ones that were around, but then Limp Bizkit was like that was the big, that was the petrol on the fire that just like whoosh, and it commercialized it all. That was the big thing. It made it commercial, and I think there was to talk about it. It's one of these things. It's so polarizing because when it came about, it was both in equal parts despised. I've never known a genre of music that's so hated and so loved at the same time, and it was a guilty pleasure. Like we used to be like walking around the corner of biscuit t-shirts, but there was a certain amount of like, maybe cover that up or don't go there, or there's a certain amount even at the time, and it's weird because it's like 25 years later, it's hot shit now. It's like it's really back in vogue, and there's new metal songs coming out, and it's like it's kind of a. I think what happened was it basically in '99 it was peak and it was underground. All these bands were coming up. Korn had made it. Their Life is Peachy was. The first it was 94, and then by 99 they had Follow the Leader. Was that 97? I think. I'll double check that. I think Life is Peachy was 97
because I was at secondary school at the time when it's going, because that's when I was going to subs, and that's when I was going to the. So when I was like 14, that's when I was going to the over 18 clubs.
Of course, standard. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's the Follow the Leader album was out around about that sort of time.
but like certainly by Follow the Leader and Significant Other by Limp Bizkit, you all of a sudden had this like, oh okay, this is a thing, and then by 2001 you had Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park coming out. Slipknot were 99. They were established by that point. I think Iowa might come out in 2001, but by that point it had reached this peak, and that's when everyone decided they hated it. Because it was commercial, it was successful, it was pop music effectively. And as I'm going to get into in some of the other facts, it was commercialised in a way that it made it just like not cool. It made it like Nickelback's. No one hates Nickelback because they hate their songs. They hate Nickelback because they're successful.
Sticklebrick.
Like no one's heard that Dark Horse or Black Dark Horse album. If you listen to the album, right, that is fucking awesome. It's a great album, but. And all even like if this is how you remind me, people can sing that song. People slag off Nickelback all the time, but if they weren't successful, they wouldn't. It's just because they did really well. And new metal did. It was underground. When it's underground, it was cool, and then it come out and it was just no. And now it's come back and it's niche. Now it's got this kind of, and I think what could happen is it could become really popular again.
Yeah.
And there's a few bands. I mean, like I don't think it's quite gonna break the way it did before, but it's I don't think we've got a risk of that happening again, but it was interesting because it's just that whole thing. I think Linkin Park was the thing that pushed it over the edge though. Having sat there and watched it happen, Hybrid Theory came out, and then Chester Bennington was so inoffensive. He was chief boy band singer. He sang like a boy band singer. I mean, he sang like he could have been in NSYNC. I think that was why I was a bit cringy around the album, and it's taken me years to sort of at least appreciate, even if I don't like all the songs, I can appreciate. I'm like, oh, okay, I get.
He did have that clean face look as well.
Oh yeah, clean shaven. Have the tats and the abs out. He's always talking about his feelings and all this stuff, and it was just like, oh, he's broken just like me. Ever so sad. Of course, given it's a bit actually kind of harsh now. Yeah. No, I feel bad. I'm not trivialising that. It seemed like it was a bit of a pastiche, but I do think as a genre it's interesting because I can't think of any other musical genre where that's happened. I mean, to a certain extent, things go away and they come back and they become kitschy. But I don't feel like new metal's kitschy. I feel like people actually like it now.
Yeah.
I feel like Limp Bizkit's last album came out, and broadly speaking, it could have come out 20 years ago. Not that they've not reinvented the wheel. They're still doing the same thing, and they're just like popular again.
Yeah.
And new metal, if you go and look in the plays and stuff, all these bands are getting like in the billions. Like Papa Roach still plays to bloody arenas, and as much as everyone says, "Oh, their new songs are great," "Oh, their new song," like, yeah, but you play Last Resort, see what happens, mate. You know, like, oh, is it the new stuff is great? Is it? You play the old stuff. Just play that Infest album and just so. That's my opening salvo, new metal. That was without a script, without any facts. That was just my experience of it and how it's interesting as a genre, and that's why I picked it as a subject, because I think there's meat on the bone.
Hey, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
There you go. I'm gonna drink my chili juice.
Yeah, it gets worse when it's just more chilies down the bottom.
I'm getting there, mate. I'm getting there.
Just pop a loo roll in the fridge. Just say,
oh, it burns on the way down. Given what I've got planned for tomorrow, this might not be the wisest precursor, but
yeah,
I like to feel I've got a higher tolerance than some, so this just equalises the playing field.
So I'm going to start off with a strong opener. I feel this is a strong opener. Have you ever heard of the Aztec death whistle?
That sounds amazing. No, mate, I haven't.
It's so in 1999, archaeologists excavating.
Sorry, did you say 1999?
In 1999, 1999, archaeologists excavating the temple of Titleco discovered a skeleton of a 20-year-old sacrifice victim who was clutching two skull-shaped figurines. Historians initially thought that the clay sculptures were more toys, and they were catalogued and stored in a museum warehouse. It was not until years later that someone decided to blow into the clay device. The haunting, screaming sound that emerged from the whistle has refined our understanding of pre-Hispanic instruments and rituals. Archaeologists have found instruments made of clay, animal skins, seashells and other materials as Aztec and Mayan sites across Mexico. Yet there is still considerable debate about what exactly these instruments were used for. Some scholars believed that the skull-shaped whistles found in Tlateco were used to recreate the screech and howling of winds, because they were found at a temple dedicated to wind gods. Efcal. I'm really sorry, right? If I offend any Aztecs, mate, if I could spell better.
Well,
just
you
saying.
know these militant fucking super anal retentive Aztec people.
I know, right?
You're like, spell it correctly. Quaffle, 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 quaffle.
The instruments are known as whistle of death because historians believe they were used to help guide sacrificial victims on their journey to the afterlife. Another theory holds that hundreds of instruments were used in unison to scare enemies during battle. So this is all. It's a skull-shaped. It sounds like a scream. Sounds like a scream.
All right.
I bet you want to hear that, don't you?
I want to hear it. Have you got it?
I've got it. All these instruments.
And I
are
also
recorded sounds.
that was my first question was, what does it sound like? And my second question is, why haven't Slayer done a song about this?
Whistle of death! Whistle of death! Can you whistle? Yes, you can fucking whistle. Good. Right.
It sounds like a kazoo or some shit. It's like super scary.
If it done that. But honestly, genuinely, I was playing this before I was telling Katie what I was actually, and she's like, "What the fuck actually is that?"
All right, this is a whistle of death. This is a skull-shaped whistle.
Skull-shaped whistle. Actually, looks like a skull. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Not that nice. I wouldn't have that in the playground.
My testicles just went inside.
I know, right?
What the hell, man? That's a whistle.
I thought, oh well, no, he can't be playing that. He can't. And I've been looking at it, and that's fucking horrible.
Imagine some school coach was like playing on the sidelines, like, "Stop fucking about, Thompson." It's like-
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Also sold on Amazon for about 40 quid.
Oh, okay.
Halloween,
All right.
mate.
Oh, mate. I don't think I'll give a one piece of any sweets away. Just play that when they come near the door. Like, what the actual shit?
Yeah.
I'll get a letter from the.
You just hear trick or treat. Right, just coming. Put down, Mandy. Stop it. Put it. And he just blow the whistle.
Yep.
And then he can. Ah!
Yeah.
No.
So sorry about that. Actually freaked the dog out a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah. No, don't strike him. Use a bell end.
dogcast.
Just been dicking about. Left door open for him today, so he could dickhead in and out.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've heard noises from me gagging on the chili brew that James gave me.
I
But,
got a little concerned at one point.
oh mate, no, I got it. I think I got like a bunch of like seeds
Yeah.
went down my throat, and I was just like side to side, like just trying to find air. But
You don't have to finish it.
no, I'm not gonna fucking. I don't not finish drinks. I'm not a fucking. Not some Nancy. But I'm not a gay.
Oh,
No, sorry, I'm totally a gay.
Cool. Well, that's yeah.
Okay. Horrible. Whistle of death. Yeah, no, that's not leaving my brain. That's where it lives now. Okay, now I'm going to talk about gender politics, if you don't mind.
No, what? Nah.
You all right?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to the end. All right, let's just.
It's so spicy.
It's so spicy. You gave me so many. They swell up so big. Look at my chilies. They're so big.
Oh.
Oh. Fucking up.
Dear.
Apologies for the language.
Yeah.
I may not neck down the actual chilies if you don't mind.
Oh, I spent 4 hours cooking them. I put them in a tray on an oven, a little air fryer oven. Yeah, I did leave them, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, oh, that's.
I've only got the one cup.
All right,
I've got
so-
fucking refill, but yeah.
I'm gonna just push on. Okay, so new metal. So yeah, I mean, you remember it was. The thing is with new metal, I think what happened was, with hindsight, it's less acceptable because at the time, it was just kind of cool, and now you look back on it and it's got this, this very like. I don't know. Like I come at it from a view of like it was alternative, whereas I think in America especially, it was considered to be a very, what's the term? You know, like very bro. You know, it's very it's bro rock. It was very, you know, it was like that, wasn't it? It was just very masculine. WWE, all those intros. Everyone had a new metal intro, and it was the quintessential swing your dick about. You know, just let's and it became sort of
It was like that sort of that sort of
oh, we got sexy lighting in there. But yeah,
Yeah.
so Stan, you just shut. This dog's getting a bit unbound again. It's very hot in here. I don't appreciate his dogginess right now. But so my point was the idea of like this sort of like aggressive masculine sort of vibe about like grabbing your nuts and giving it all this shit and I'm gonna smash you up and knock you the fuck out and all this shit. And it was that a lot of the lyrics are like that. That's kind of the vibe. But it was kind of from the point of view where we were at, it was an expressive. It was just venting. It was like it was about a bunch of people who weren't. But for the most part, people who were doing that were middle class. I mean, do you remember that "Rock in the Suburbs" song by Ben Folds?
One more time.
Ben Folds 5 was a band, and then Ben Folds went off on his own, and he did "Rock in the Suburbs." I'm rocking the suburbs just like Michael Jackson did. Rocking the suburbs, except that he was talented. Right, and he was talking anyway. And he did this thing where it's like, you all don't know what it's like being male, middle class, and white. It's like, oh yeah, I suppose, because all the people, everyone in those bands, you know, pretty much to a man. There were a few, you know, a few diverse people, should we say, but for the most part, it was like, if you look at them, they weren't like. But you know, that doesn't change it. It was just expressive, and it was kind of fun. But anyway, gender politics. That's what we're getting to. I was going off on a tangent there. So Evanescence.
Yeah.
They were in, I believe, 2001, but that was part of the wave of commercialised new metal. Now the thing is, Evanescence aren't new metal. They're not. They're just not. But they're under that banner, and the studio at the time, because they knew it was hot shit. They were one of the bands that really were never really trying to be new metal, and they were sort of pushed into it. So they were recording their debut album. Lead singer Amy Lee was told that the single "Bring Me to Life," which was their first single, they agreed on that. They thought they wanted, but they would flounder without a more masculine voice on it. It was presented to me as, "You're a girl singing in a rock band. There's nothing else like that out there. Nobody's going to listen to you. You need a guy to come in and sing backup for it to be successful." That was a quote of from Amy Lee. She later recalled, "The manly rap, courtesy of 12 Stone's Paul McCoy, is not good." And it's not. It's really bad. Wake me up and all that, you know, that guy. And it's just like, you right?
Yeah, just see what this was.
Oh, okay. But it was, yeah, you know, and it's proper. That's one of those things. There's certain areas of new metal which is just not aged well, and a lot of the early stuff is like, ooh, there's some really, what the youth would call it, problematic. And that's one of the, you know, it's one of them. It's like this super. You remember, he's obviously, she's hanging off the edge of the building and he's saving her, and it's just very. You wouldn't do it today. It wouldn't be done.
No.
That's the. And the thing is, after that, she went off and did all that shit on her own. Well, not on her own, but like, she didn't have. He wasn't in the band. He was never in the band, and he wasn't even like mentioned featuring. And things. I remember when the second single came out, I'm like, where's that other dude? I mean, the second single was "Going Under." It's a much better song. And I'm not a big fan of theirs, especially. It's not my vibe, because most of them, when you realise, like, oh, okay, they're not the sort of, they're just like a quiet melodic rock band. She's a very good singer, but it's just a lot of the stuff's not for me. But it was one of these bands that were like, okay, new metal's hot right now. We're going to push you through the new metal pipeline to make you new metally. So we need a bloke on there going like, giving a. There was that real like, oh, the inside, I can't believe I couldn't see. The little rap he did. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
And it was.
All of my J's, motherfucker, yeah.
And he was, "There must be shelter.
Yeah.
Bring me to life.
Oh,
Let me happy side.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So, it was supposedly she didn't like it. She didn't want to do it, but she played the game. And now she's got a career, and she's been doing it for 20 years. And she looks, I think, better now than she did then. She's kept it sensible. She's not gone off her head on crack. She's done all right.
Yeah.
So fair play to them, but not new metal. I would say not new metal.
I think I'll get along with you. I think you get the sort of new metal sort of vibe a little bit when it's like, oh, there's a guy's voice in there, but that's just like a little smidgen of it. But then you sort of listen to the other stuff which comes out after. It's like, nah. It's not like what's what I really liked. You got away all of your tears.
Oh, my eternal,
Yeah.
my immortal.
My immortal. I like that one. I like that one.
Yeah.
That's not new metal.
No, not at all. Not even slightly.
No.
I mean, the thing is, though, right? That song, legitimately, and I'm not even saying it to be a prick to say you like fairy music. I'm saying like Celine Dion could have recorded that song and released it.
Yeah.
And there would be nothing weird about that. She could have sung that song exactly as it was and released it. She's done songs that are heavier than that. Celine Dion has. And
oh yeah, what's that Celine Dion song? Eternal fucking corpse of Shangri-La cheese.
yeah,
Yeah. No, she didn't sing that. I lied.
Oh no, you're thinking of what's that famous band? Neil can't. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. Anyway, couple facts in. Let's go. Let's go.
Right. So one of my favourite sounding instruments, which hurdy-gurdy. Mate, you could most probably find one of these in IKEA. Is it hurdy-gurdy? But what? It just sounds like something you'd see on the list. Oh, I'd like the hurdy-gurdy. But so hurdy-gurdy, squat pear-shaped fiddle having strings and sounded not by a bow, but with a rosined rim of a wooden wheel turned by a handle at the instrument's end. Notes are made on one of two melody strings by stopping them with short wooden keys pressed with the left hand fingers. Up to 4 unstopped strings called bourdons sound drones. The hurdy-gurdy was first mentioned in the 10th century as the organistrum. So yeah, it was then a church instrument played by two men, one finger in the keys, one turning the wheel. Selector, one-man forms called synanth. Is that one?
Symphonia.
Symphonia, thank you. Appeared in the 13th century. It was fashionable during the reign of Louis XIV, or X1V, as the Vela Aru, which is wheel fiddle, but again, hurdy-gurdy, and was played into the 20th century by folk and street musicians. Notably in France and Eastern Europe, the Swedish nyckelharpa is a similar fiddle with keys, but is played with a bow. The hurdy-gurdy is, again, fucking magical instrument. There's a game on the Xbox called Sea of Thieves, all pirate stuff, and you get to play these things, and it's, again, I've got a sound clip, whether or not, and this is actually a bit of music from Sea of Thieves, which is played on Sea of Thieves, not actually created by them, I don't think, but I love the instrument. You're turning on a wheel, here you go, you're welcome.
Hurdy-gurdy-gurdy.
It sounds a bit like a stringed harmonica. They're not.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures.
Squeeze box. What do you call it?
Well,
Accordion. That's it.
oh yeah, it does sound like an accordion actually.
Yeah, a bit of accordion, but I think you can sort of hear the sort of string swings on it. But it's like yeah, it looks like a pear-shaped sort of fiddle. It's got some strings on it. It's got some keys which do notes of it, and then you spin it by hand down the bottom. It's a funky little thing.
It's really cool.
I just think that one, it is weird looking, and it is a different instrument. I just think, bloody hell, you're pretty. That's the hurdy-gurdy, and that had lots of big words in it, so I do apologise.
That's cool.
But you're welcome.
I like it. Thank you, mate. Sorry, I was okay.
Using the herd, weren't you? The herd of the
I was taken away by the hurdy-gurdiness of it. I'm just very comfortable because this dog's weaseling around. I'm all hot now. He's been lying next to me and he's got my legs all sweaty. And I don't like it. I'm sitting here in shorts and he's just, oh, he's looking at me all like innocent, like the little screw he is. Dickhead. So, all right, this is a little tale about the woes of new metal. In 2004, this is peak commercial new metal period, right? And many people think this is past the peak. It's on the way down. You know, you have Limp Bizkit going to award shows. Showing up in movies. No, Zoolander was 2001, and he was, yeah.
Okay.
So I was with Fred Durst in that. He was pop boy. He was everything. So he was banging his way through Hollywood at this point. You know, like every pop star at the time. Obviously Britney Spears. Who was the Ginge? What's her name? Banged everyone. Oh God, what's her name?
I'm trying to think who's.
Oh man, it's gonna wind me up now.
We're finding out.
I can't.
No.
I'm gonna find out. Lindsay Lohan, bloody hell.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was that guy.
That was an
he
Eminem song. I've read that with Lindsay Lohan. Yeah.
Well, no, Christina Aguilera. He was, because I think he seemed to get through. He was a bit of a fuckboy, but again, it was only looked at as a good thing, and he just went around ruining all these like pop starlets who were like, yeah. So 2004. So I'm getting off on tangents again. To promote their chicken fries, Burger King unveiled a masked rooster metal band called Cock Rock. The following year, Slipknot sued the fast food chain for copying their style, claiming they'd been approached to do the ad for them but turned it down. Burger King countersued, claiming that Cock Rock were parodying a general trend in metal to wear masks, citing Kiss, Gwar and Mushroomhead, and claimed the Slipknot themselves were just a parody band themselves, suggesting they had lifted their look from Mushroomhead. Both suits were eventually dropped. Now, there's an argument to be made.
Okay.
Slipknot were a very commercial band. They did very, very well straight off the bat. Their first album came out. I remember the buzz about their first play when they first played the Astoria. And I've met a bunch of people who said they were at that gig. I thought I was at that gig, which is insane because I definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, the Astoria is tiny, if you remember.
Yeah.
But that was a famous gig. But that's, again, I'm going off on a fucking tangent, sorry. But I'm saying that they were hot shit, but the Mushroomhead were around longer, and they were around first, and they did have a very similar style. And it was, but that industrial wearing masks and shit is not a thing. But it was that, I actually looked at the advert for the chicken fries, with the Cock Rock band, which is a really fun, but it's clearly a piss take Slipknot, like it's very clearly, but you can't sue anyone for that. You really can't sue. It was a silly suit. It was silly. You could never have. I think it was. I mean, it might have been. If I'm cynical enough, I could think maybe that Slipknot were like, let's sue them and then just drop it after a month because the cost of getting the legal paperwork together is probably worth the publicity we'll get for it, you know. But then again, it's like that's not really. It's not metal, is it? It's just. But that was kind of, in a lot of ways, the beginning and the end already happened by that point. It was like. But these bands, I mean, Slipknot were still in there. They were still peaking. They were still doing well. But like the actual genre as a whole, I think by that point, 2004, you've got a lot of the third tier bands, the bands you don't remember now. Some of them are still banging around. I mean, it's kind of mad thinking about like the bands that you still see, who just never stop touring. You just stop seeing them. The amount of times you've heard a band, like whatever happened to them, you check and they've released 15 albums since I last saw them. You just had no idea. These bands you think like. You just think British rock bands like Stereophonics and Feeder. You probably assume they went away, right? Or Ash. They didn't go away. Hell. They kept releasing albums. Just no one listened to them. It's kind of mad. And and all those bands, like, I mean, some bands like Radiohead got obscure and they went up their own arseholes. But new metal, they just kept touring the same shit. And some bands they got up to stadium level and never stopped, like Papa Roach. System of a Down could do if they could be asked to gig. But yeah, I mean, like Slipknot are one of the most consistent and significant like touring bands in the world. They go and they can do a tour and they can play every big venue in every country around the world, and that's not true of short of Metallica and a few other big bands that they could get away with that. So, but they are the few people that made it out of that. Even Limp Bizkit, like they placed well, if they were doing a tour. They probably wouldn't play the biggest places. They do alright, but they'll play a festival and they'll get around. But they're not. And Korn as well. Korn aren't playing they're not playing O2. They have played the O2, I think, but I don't think they would. But yeah, I mean at the moment they would. But there was a big period of time when it was on the wane. So anyway, that was all.
Yeah.
I'm rambling, man. I'm really. You got to start curbing me.
You got to ramble, man.
I'm really going off on a tangent. Have you tried cheese?
Yeah.
You're going to love cheese. Let me tell you about it. First we get a cow. We get them pregnant.
Ooh.
Then we take their little calf away and I don't know, it doesn't matter what we do to it.
Oh.
It's not great.
Oh.
Then we start squeezing those teats. Filling those buckets up with that sweet, creamy, hot, milky times.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Keep her pregnant as long as she's useful.
Oh.
Then let's just say she catches up with the little Garthy.
Oh.
We then take the milky goodness
Yeah.
and we get stomach acid from another cow. We just swirl it on in there. It's called rennet. It's lovely. It's acid and it's gross.
Oh.
Fuck. And then the cheese, we cube it up and we skim off all the way and we put it in little packages and we send them out all over the world. Cheese. Cheese. Crackers. Cheese. Wine. Cheese. You like cheese?
I did.
It's kind of gross when you think about it. You sick fuck. Cheese!
Well, in that case, let's talk about the Sarangi.
Thank God someone finally talked about it.
I know. It's on the tip of everyone's tongue.
What? Just for the listeners, what's a Sarangi, James?
So, Sa means free. Rangi means colours. Free colours.
Of course.
So this is basically Sarangi, the most widespread bowed instrument in northern India and Pakistan. The body was carved from one piece of Celeridia tuna, which is actually part of the mahogany family of wood, which grows through South Asia. It's strung with goat leather, bridge made of buffalo horn, 3 strong melodic strings made of gut, and 35 resonant strings made of metal. It was originally a folk musician instrument. References indicate that the shrangi has been used in classical music from the 17th century onwards. In the 19th century, it was also commonly used to accompany dance performances. Have you heard of it before?
I mean, let's say for all intents and purposes, no. No, I haven't.
But I bet you've heard it. You ready?
Example?
So, one of the games I used to play Tenchu. Sorry, I used to watch my brother play. How did I watch him play? He used to sit on the top of a fucking hut for hours watching this one person walk back and forth to learn his patterns, and then he'll jump down and kill him. So, but yeah, it's that sort of Asian, and but it's a pretty instrument. It's pretty. It looks
Before you play it, can I just
proper
thank
special.
you for all the prep this week. You've really gone above and beyond.
Oh, you're welcome. But I'm making up for all the times that you've done prep, and I've just gone. I'm here. I'm going to say some stuff, but
It's like, so let me get started on those damn Jews. It's James 101. No, seriously, we love all Jews. Carry on.
So, this is what it sounds like. Again, a classic example, this one, I say all strange instruments, all stuff like that. Technically, it's not a strange instrument because it's fucking old. It's decent. It's like really cultural. But it looks, mate, honestly, it looks like someone sneezed on the blueprints and thought, fuck it, I'm going to make it anyway. But it's weird because it's got these 3 strings, 2 next to each other, and this other one just next to it a little bit. And the person who plays it, honestly, they look like they're just guessing. It's the hand. There's no sort of like on a guitar. You've got your frets. You've got like the bars that hold the note down. Nah, not on these ones. You just touch the string, and it's you run your hand up and down. So you got like
It's
no
like a sort of theremin vibe, isn't it?
yeah, which is mentioned later on. Isn't it? But then all these other strings.
So sorry.
Well, so there's like these 35 other strings underneath it. They literally cover the whole rest of the board underneath the 3 main strings, and they're just like ring, and they just ring out, and it's just fucking pretty. It looks like a mashup, but again, you've heard that. You've heard that.
I've heard that sound. No, I know that.
Most people have. You see that like Aladdin, those sort of like marketplace background music sort of things.
I'm sure. Didn't they have that as a weapon in? Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah.
They had that weapon. They were using it to like fire arrows and shit at him, and they were playing. They were using notes. They like had some weird combination of notes, and it would attack the guy. It was used in a fight.
That's it, because they're doing the music. They're
Yeah.
when they do that 35 string, the ones that are
Yeah.
they go ring, and that's when she
It
comes
was
up.
like it was just they did that and they did that and like, some guy's head come off and I was like bloody hell.
See, and that's not made up. That's what those instruments do. They're
Yeah,
originally
mate,
used for.
I saw it.
Yeah,
That documentary, Kung Fu Hustle. I saw it.
yeah, mate. Fucking best one that David Attenborough ever done.
Mate, you talk to me.
David Attenborough would have kick ass. Come on. Yeah, but that's yeah, Sarangi. You're welcome.
Sarangi. Oh, Sarangi. My boo. Africa. Oh.
That old school song that is.
Right. I'm just going to get straight into it. Between various efforts, including their remix album Reanimation and Jay-Z collaboration EP Collision Course,
I know those.
Linkin Park really made it difficult for people of any level to level any criticism against new metal at them. Not that it stopped anyone, myself included. Their debut album, Hybrid Theory, remains the best-selling rock album of the 21st century, and they're the only rock band to have won the Grammy for Best Rap Sung Performance. Just let that sink in, right? Bunch of white boys, well, not all white boys, but still mostly white boys, won the Grammy for Best Rap Song.
That's a bit. Yeah, you would. Yeah.
Yeah. They were also very shrewd, choosing their names' unorthodox spelling because the domain name linkinpark.com was available. The kind of forward thinking that makes bands pretty enormous. But it's not just that. Linkin Park, I never. The first album came out and I was like, because, alright, we should do it. We are in a new metal covers band, are we not, James?
We are indeed.
We play several Linkin Park songs.
A few, yeah.
Once you start playing Linkin Park songs, you realise, oh, they do these same things in every song. They've worked out these little bits, and like that thing where like in the second pre-chorus, there's an extra little beat, isn't there?
Oh yes.
They do that in every fucking song,
Yeah.
and there's all these little they've worked it out. And when I listened to that first album, I was like, you only have to listen to one song and you know how the songs go.
Mm.
Genuinely, like they've kind of, and you could look at that and say, oh, that's just they're not trying. You should be variety songs. I'm like, to some extent, yeah, but isn't that what AC/DC did? Isn't that what fucking like all these like really successful rock bands did? Reinventing the wheel is not something they did try to do that. They did went off and they did all these tangents and all these they did all these later albums that were total shit, and they were trying to do new things. I mean, it failed horribly, but they were trying. But as a commercial entity, as a business venture, you got to respect the fact they went in there. They took all their they gave it out. Every album had like 3 remix albums, didn't it?
Yeah.
They just kept chucking out new shit. They had new shit coming out every week. You could not get away from a new release of Linkin Park. They toured their arse off as well, and they filmed everything. This is something I only found out recently because there was an interview with Mike Shinoda, and he said, "Yeah, we didn't know because back then you couldn't like all that shit you see. If you look at like 99, 2000, if you watch some like music video on YouTube, it'll be in 480p. It'll be crap.
Yeah.
And then live footage, there's like a few things. It's only if it went on MTV it would have been equality. Mostly that shit wasn't recorded. They recorded everything. They had a documentarian recording all their recording sessions and stuff, right? Back when they were nobody, they just sort of sensed that it will be important for us to do that. And I'm like, you've got to, yeah. I mean, the presence of mind to do that. I was like, you've got to give, yeah, kudos, mate. And I still feel Paper Cut is a rip-off of Around the Fair by Deftones, but or at least the intro beat is so iconic. You can't deny that. But I think respect is due. They were in many ways the Taylor Swift of the new metal genre, and you got to give it to them both commercially and in terms of their business acumen. Fair play, geezers. Yeah.
I would have really, really liked to hear Linkin Park do Shake It Off.
They would have. That's the thing. If they were all still with us, I'm pretty sure I could in the future see a Tay-Tay LP collaboration or collab.
Mm.
That would be yeah, fucking top shelf Sigma. I don't know the kids' words.
No.
It would be well non-Skibidi. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, oh, so non-Skibidi.
So non-Skibidi.
No.
Non-Skibidi. All right. Tell me about your magical things, James.
The next one, the Theremin. The Theremin.
I'm so sorry.
Not the thing that you put your coffee in. That's a thermos. Different. Not a musical instrument.
Idiot.
Alright,
Moron.
fuck's sake.
Fucking stupid. Sorry, go on.
The theremin. The instrument was invented in October 1920 by the Russian physicist Lev Sadyevich Themin, known in the West as Leon Themin. Fucking, that's much easier. Alright, Leon. Alright. Leon was working with a device that measured the density of gas and had modified it not to only give visual readouts of the value, but an auditory representation as well. After a lengthy tour of Europe, during which time he demonstrated his invention to packed houses, Theremin moved to the United States, where he patented his invention in 1928, used by famous bands such as Led Zeppelin in A Whole Lot of Love, The Great Gig in the Sky, Pink Floyd,
Yeah.
Good Vibrations, The Beach Boys, and who can forget this bad Mama Jamma?
Yeah, I was going to say.
You can't. Yeah. Just literally, it's yours. Yours. For your ears. Made it for you.
Thank you, mate.
Listen on and prosper.
Nice. Very good.
Oh, so topical. Yeah, so again, it's fucking weird because you don't physically touch anything whatsoever. Well, apart from turn it on, but you just wave your hands around, and again, it's made by a musical instrument by mistake. It's like, I need to see how much this gas density is, but I don't want to see it. I want to hear it. I want to hear what gas sounds like when it farts. Yeah.
It's hot, man.
I know, right? But that's the theremin, the theremin.
Determined.
Cool. Right. I've got 4 more left.
I've got one proper pre-written one. I've got one where I've got, I think I've got 2 proper ones to go off on, and I could talk about something else, but I think I'll just be. So you got 4.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if I can. So I've got another tab open. Yeah, so I was going to talk about that.
Because if you want to, I could do another one of mine.
Alright, I'll tell you what, alright. So when I was looking into new metal as a genre, because firstly I'm going to cover a few bases in this one quickly, right? So broadly, now I've had arguments with people about that's not a new metal band, or that is a new metal band, or that's not a new metal band, and honestly, I don't think it's as clear cut as people think it is. Because I I probably can think of a band right now, and you're like, it's not fucking new metal, because it's just not as clear cut. There's some bands that are metal, and and you think some bands are peak new metal, but then Slipknot. I mean, how new metal is Slipknot today?
See, because I associate them as new metal purely for the fact because they're rocky alternative, and they got the rapping bits and stuff in there as well, and it's around about that time. But that's my go through for it.
Yeah, but like if you just say if they release a new album, is that a new metal album? Is it a new metal album because they're a new metal band?
See, I would technically say yes, because of again from where I need them. But
so let's say
just
hypothetical, right?
Yeah.
So a new Slipknot album comes out.
Yeah.
And they say, and it sounds totally in keeping with the last few albums. It's the same band, but they decide they're not going to call themselves Slipknot. They're going to call themselves Wingnut. So they got this new Wingnut. It's called Death Is Our Friend or whatever. That's the new album, and so they're not the same band by name that released the self-titled or Iowa, all these new metal staples, right? And they've still got the same shit. They got the blast beats. They've got the heavy, but like a lot of the key tempos of new metal are not there. Is that a new metal band?
If it's changed enough, I'd kind of say no. Not
but
really.
is it? Does it sound new metal? Like that last album, was it a new metal? I don't know if it was a new metal album. I know people who would swear blind. Of course, it fucking is. And I know other people who were like, no, it wasn't. Because I mean, they're doing like they stuff in Biscuits, in Slipknot songs that are like full on. Like you got that blast beats, you got death metal shit, you got all kinds of like these crazy breakdowns and shit, which are not at all new metal. You've got solos. There are many things in that. The rapping isn't always there, so it's not like the rapping thing is not as present. So I don't know, but anyway, that was a sort of so new metal. So the definition: new metal built on rap metal's foundation of rap collaboration. So rap metal was a thing before it was new metal.
Of course, yeah.
But it emphasised some of the more aggressive elements of the musical forebears: intense and angry lyrics, off-pitched guitars, and heavily amplified beats were typical new metal. Then you also had like the idea of like there's always a DJ scratching and all that sort of shit. That was, but then a lot of bands stopped doing that. If you listen to Papa Roach now, a Papa Roach new metal band.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say.
I would say their last, I don't know, any of their last like 3 or 4 albums, right? They're rock albums. There's no rapping, there's no scratching, there's no DJ, there's no backbeat. Not backbeat, but there's no like samples and shit. It's just rock songs.
Do they need to get some better beats and get some better rhymes?
I think it would help. There's a reason I listened to the first album almost exclusively, but still.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. It's a weird genre insofar as it's weirdly strict and yet very indistinct in a lot of ways. So that actually I googled it. It's like 1990 album Slipknot emerged with an extremely heavy new metal sound, releasing a self-titled album which was certified platinum in 2000 and twice platinum in 2005. In a review of the self-titled album, Rick Anderson of AllMusic wrote about Slipknot, "You thought Limp Bizkit was hard. They're the fucking Osmonds," and that was the review of them coming out because it was just so heavy.
I get that.
And
Donny Durst Osmond.
You chuck a little bowl cut on him. Amazing. Fuck. But yeah, and then there's if you search for new metal, the amount of comments are about top 10 new metal bands. What is new metal? How would you define new metal? It's one of these things. There doesn't seem to be a clear. There are bands that are definitely new metal, but then they can release songs that are not new metal. Like Limp Bizkit have done so many songs that's not fucking new metal. But then, like it seems to lend itself to this more than almost most genres, to be honest. But yeah, I think a lot of it was So this is mixed styles of funk, electronica, hardcore, and hip hop. But rarely exclusively any of those genres, because it was such a... Sorry, go on. Hands in the air. Like you just don't care.
Korn.
Yes.
Are they a new metal band?
Yeah, they are the new metal band.
What about when they've done all that dubstep stuff?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one.
That's a good song. I don't listen to that much. I think because dubstep just came and went. I love dubstep.
Oh, I give or take it. It does sound like a...
I was just like, this is... No, because dubstep, I think that led to all that. Because I think dubstep, it came and went, and that was another one. That was like... It was like a macrocosm of new metal, because it was everywhere.
I like that word.
It was everywhere for like 6 months, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Everything. Skrillex remixed everyone. Skrillex did everything. It was like... And then you had Noisia and you had Knife Party, and they were doing all this shit, and then all of a sudden it was lame, and it went away. Except that all the current metal stuff uses all those big 8-string, the fucking big D tune shit, and you get those big like dong 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 dong, all that sort of shit, and it's just, and a lot of that seems to harken back to the sort of dubsteppy sound. But it's interesting. It's interesting. And I think you wouldn't have, without dubstep, I don't reckon you would have like that. Who's the guy who did the Doom soundtrack? His name was something Gordon.
Flash.
Yeah, something Gordon. Flabby Gordon. Fucking, what's his name? And I feel like I should at least give him fair chops. Come on, Spotify, tell me the Doom soundtrack. I almost have it. Mick Gordon. I knew it was Gordon, which is a fucking great. It's a fucking great.
That is bloody pretty.
So. And then we stop before we get into licensing issues, but well, good. Okay.
I think we should be Doom soundtrack covers band.
It's pretty heavy.
Oh, I know.
It's fucking good though.
Yeah.
It's just like so fucking yeah. It's really really good. But yeah, I go on facts. I was rambling again.
Sorry.
I've rambled hard
Sorry.
this week. Just fucking like 7 lines of facts and just 27 minutes of just full on just waffle bollocks.
Yeah, cool.
Tell me about your instruments, James.
So this one, I didn't have a sound clip for it. That's fucking beautiful. The Picasso guitar. Not the not to get mixed up with Pablo Picasso from 1881 to 1973.
Oh,
Although he did make a guitar, which he cobbled together from cardboard, paper, strings, and wire material
seriously.
that he cut out, folded, threaded, and glued. Didn't fucking work though. It was just an obscure thing. No. That was it.
What a fucking waster.
Be a bastard.
What a lazy bastard making his bullshit paper mache fucking guitar.
Oh, you know, right? Although one of my favourite artists, but yeah, well. But no, this is Picasso spelled with a K. Okay, because it's called Pikassso. It's a 42 strings acoustic guitar made famously.
Too many strings.
Honestly, if you've seen it, you look up while I'm reading this. Honestly, it looks like it's proper special.
Fine.
The 42 strings acoustic guitar made famous by the jazz legend Pat Metheny. The project began in 1984, good year, when Metheny is issuing Manza, the designer, a simple mission: design and build a guitar.
All right. Pause.
Oh, what's there?
Everyone Google Picasso guitar as James spelt it.
Pikasso.
What the actual fuck?
It's like standard tuning on one bit, D on the other bit. There's like a picture.
No. I'm saying no. I'm just. A gig the other week, right? I snapped a string.
You wouldn't have a problem if you snapped a string on that one. You just go, oh, I just moved
No,
that.
you would, because you wouldn't know what the fuck string broke. There's so many strings on that thing.
It's 42.
That looks like.
This is why when I was trying to find a sound clip for it, honestly, one of the videos that first come up, it sounded dirge. It's like there wasn't anything was in key, but then when I found some other key, it just sounded like a normal guitar. But mate,
That's the most insane, stupid thing I've ever seen in my life.
Hmm.
How many notes do you fucking need?
Mate, it's greedy. It's fucking greedy.
It's greedy.
So
42 strings.
So he asked this man to design and build a guitar with as many strings as possible. The result? A 42-string hybrid acoustic instrument with 4 necks and 2 sound holes.
4 necks.
Yeah, 4 fucking necks. The Picasso presented many challenges. With so many crisscrossing strings, the luthier had to anticipate and account for the playability of the instrument's 4 sections. To aid the comfortability of this instrument, Manza created a new twist on the guitar design too. From looking side on, you'll see that the Picasso is actually wedge-shaped, thinner at the top and thicker at the bottom. Whilst the guitar rests on the knee, sloping the instrument like this allows Metheny to see the array of strings that run across the soundboard at unconventional angles. The Picasso was the first guitar to employ a Manza wedge, pants too tight, which has since become a standard feature on almost all luthier guitars. So it's a wedge-shaped guitars, necks all over the place. It's called a Picasso because it looks like a Picasso, yeah, mental.
That really is mental.
But yeah, again, it sounds like a normal guitar.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's disappointing.
But the ones which are down, the strings down the bass, down the bottom, are very sort of, pring, but it's like the tuning's all over the place. There's, there's some, like in a normal scale, like da 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 da. And there's some which are like denotation ones that are like semitones and things out as they go along, so it's a bit buttonhard all over the place. But then you just brush your hand along the side. So it's like, yeah.
One sold on Reverb.
Sorry?
One of Manza's guitars sold on Reverb
Oh yeah.
for £64,461.25. Apparently,
Pay per string, don't you?
yeah. Well, apparently it takes Manza 2 years to build, approximately 1,000 hours per guitar.
Hmm.
And when the 42 strings are tuned to concert pitch, Picasso guitar is under approximately 1,000 pounds of pressure. Fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
That's just, I've never seen anything that, I'm sorry, just dumb.
Why have we not gone? Surely that's a new metal instrument. We should have this in the band. Who's going to have it? Bjorn or Mark?
No, because new metal. The key thing is new metal is the simplicity of it, right? It's like this they've distilled. There's this distillation, right? This is the opposite.
You'd have a fun time having a fucking drink without playing that one.
It weighs 7 kilos, which for an acoustic guitar looking thing is fucking heavy.
Mm.
Wow. Sorry, you've blown my mind with this thing.
Blown mind.
Potato. I don't know why I said potato. That's fucking
right.
weird.
We'll go with
That's
it.
really weird.
Yeah, but honestly, that really took me aback. Looking at that, I thought it was a bit of a joke thing. But then again, you look at like Picasso's artwork. What he done with like the whole cubism thing is look at someone face on, then look at them from the side, then look from above and the bottom. Now just fucking draw it all together at the same time.
Mm.
And that's what that guitar looks like. You're looking at it like
Yeah,
four
it does.
different angles.
It looks like a Picasso.
Yeah.
It really does like Picasso drew a guitar. That's what you see.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
Fucking beautiful like a teapot.
Beautiful like a teapot.
Right. Johnson, you mailed me.
I'll tell you some things about songs. Just don't forget about the hard Irish border. Okay.
I've got one chili left to eat and it's fucking
Eat the chili. I didn't eat any of my chilies because I'm fucking. So I'm going to tell you a little story. Right? So between 2000 and 2002, there was the Tattoo the Earth tour, which was a infamous new metal predominant tour, which members of Slipknot kept passing out due to overheating. It was in the southern states and it was just so hot. It did cover the continental US with 34 bands and 42 tattoo artists. This is an infamous show. One of these things like you wish you were there because it will never happen again. Not like this, right?
Yeah.
Backstage at one show, Slipknot's Sean Clown Cram and 1 minute silence frontman Brian Yap Barry.
OMS.
Fucking shout out, fucking 1 minute silence. I hung out with them. Anyway,
I can't just get to see you.
they were kind of bellends, but you know, they weren't bellends, but they were silly. They were silly boys. But yeah, they ended up getting accosted by security after refusing to stop driving around in a golf cart and just making obscene gestures to the whole backstage area. This led to a fracas, which included which ultimately led to Sean being sprayed with mace because he went fucking mental.
Makes sense.
And in jumped to defend their friend all of Hatebreed.
Nice.
And if there's a more new metal image than a visionary clown running amok in a golf cart, giving everyone the finger for getting maced, and then a fucking pretty big new metal band jumping on top of it. I hate we aren't new metal, are they? But they jumped in, and then it became a full-on like just a kick-off. Everyone just jumped on it. Other security ran in, and it was a full-on all these bands versus all the security. It was like just fully mental. Yeah, I just was like, that sounds like I kind of. Apparently the show's like it's went on for 2 years. This tour went on, and I was just like, mate, that would have been awesome. I saw some photos because I follow Pitch Shifter, and they US tour for like 2 years. They were just touring the US, playing small places, supporting anyone, and they got on all the tour circuits, and they just would, they were relatively small British bands, just like 1 Minute Silence, but because they were all chucked in the same place, they all ran out the same stage because they just toured.
Yeah.
Like unlike over here, they have all these different stages. When they're touring, it's a touring festival. They haven't got time for that, so they have one stage, and maybe it's over a few days, and they'll just everyone will play on the same stage, same setup. It's easier, it's less admin. They don't always do that, but they tend to do that. Or they have it in some football arena or something, and it's just basically just band after band after band.
Yeah.
It doesn't really happen in the UK because distance is involved, but they, so like you're playing the same stage as 1 Minute Silence, for example, that in 6 hours' time Metallica are playing, is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And you're playing to the same crowd. They can't, because it used to be, if you're playing like, I'm playing a small stage, or, download, whatever, it's like, that's great. It's a huge, don't get me wrong, that's a huge get, but you're not main staging it. You're not anywhere, you're not getting the exposure like you would be. So it's just that it was a different time. I wish, I kind of wish, that's one of those tours I'm like, that would have been sweet. That would have been really cool to go to those.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Reading Festival over here, and I think Reading was one of the better ones. I think we did alright. But I went to a couple of those, but yeah, good shit. And I've got one more little factet or little ramble.
Factina.
Bucatini.
Well, I've got 3 instruments left.
Go on, just chuck it a couple.
Right, so I'll do a couple now then. So,
You're doing, mate. You're a good boy.
the glass harmonica. The glass harmonica is a musical instrument that was made from 37 glass bowls of varying thickness and sizes, threaded horizontally to an iron spindle which could turn by a foot pedal. By moistening their fingers with the water, a player could produce up to 10 notes or chords at the same time. Ben Franklin, oh, dog parrot, he's on my shoulder, he's licking my face. That is delicious. By moistening their fingers with water, a player could produce up to 10 notes or chords at the same time. Ben Franklin completed his invention of the glass harmonica in 1761. Its name is derived from the Italian word for harmony. He simply refined the idea of musical glasses, which are played such like children at dinner table playing them today, with notes being determined by the amount of water in the glass. The playing of the glass harmonica was banned in Germany, in German states. A few listeners were also subject to ill effects after an incident in Germany where a child died during a performance.
Jesus, what? Whoa, how did it die?
I tried finding out, but it's just not. I think that's just
How did a
like
harmonica kill a child?
it's the glass. I just think the noise of it.
The noise sonically murdered a child.
I think it's just a coincidence, and then they've all sort of jumped on it because like a few listeners were also subject to ill effects after an incident. A child died during a performance. Some people thought that the high-pitched ethereal tones invoked the spirits of the dead,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
had magical powers, or drove listeners mad. Others believe the playing of the harmonica was the cause of marital unhappiness, premature births, and convulsions in cats and dogs.
God, it just goes to show there's always been Karens, doesn't it? It's just like fully. That's the dumbest shit ever. That's crazy.
I know, right? I know.
What a bunch of morons.
And do you want to hear it?
I better hear it.
You know it. You fucking know it. No.
Did you ruin something there?
That wasn't the next one, but you know. Right. The glass harmonica.
Plus Monica. Dum dum dum.
See,
Dum dum dum. Dum 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 dum. Do 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 do.
Iron Man on the glass harmonica.
I'm pretty sure that was off of Beavis and Butthead,
Oh, okay.
and they just went off on that. I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry. I thought you were with me on that. Just
And seeing as I've almost ruined it, I'm just gonna snap this one in.
tell me all about it.
The Zeusophone. A single Tesla coil, sometimes called a Zeusophone, a Thormain, or musical lightning, is a form of plasma speaker. It is a variety of solid-state Tesla coil that has been modified to produce musical notes by modulating its spark output. The result of pitch is a low-fidelity square wave-like sound reminiscent to an analog synthesizer. The high-frequency signal acts in effect as a carrier wave. The musical tone results directly from the passing of the spark through the air. And then that bit of music is one of my favourites to go with that sort of.
Go do it.
And you get to see the video as well, because you guys don't, because it's a podcast, you can't see, but
I'll make the appropriate noises. Ooh. Hallelujah!
right?
Here comes to town. Here comes to save the Princess Zelda.
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah. Love it. Love the sound of that. It just reminds me of the Super Nintendo, playing Zelda, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, cool.
Cool.
Does your house get cold in the winter? Does your house look dreary and drab? How would you feel if you could add a bit of pizzazz and bespoke style to your home. If you do want this, then you need to talk to one of our in-house bespoke fireplace designers here at Did Someone Say Hot Stuff? To add a fireplace to your home. If you already have a fireplace, then it must look a bit shit if you're talking to us. But we can replace it for a better one. If you haven't, then we can knock down a wall or two and make a big hole and put a lovely fireplace in there. Our designers use only the finest materials, such as narwhal tusks, in every design to make sure your fireplace stands out from the rest. Our company deep sea divers have learned how to communicate with the narwhals, so we can get explicit permission from each one before we brutally remove their tusks, so you know we are 100% narwhal friendly. Any narwhal that dies during this horrific process doesn't go to waste though, as we sell their narwhal skin belts and hot soups using any leftover bits. Remember, come talk to one of us at Did Someone Say Hot Stuff? For your fireplace needs and fucked up narwhal delights. Right, one more each?
I got one more. I got. Right, this is a bit of a diatribe.
Oh.
I know, sorry. So, are you familiar with the infamous 1999 Woodstock set by Limp Bizkit?
I've been told about it, but I can't remember it right now.
It was a documentary about it, come out last year, I believe. I was aware of it. I watched the documentary. I had to turn it off. Maybe too annoyed, right? So, it was a basically. So I'll go through the facts of what happened there. So there was a 3-day Woodstock festival. They were trying to recreate the 1969 festival 30 years on in 1999, and they had all the big bands of the day, and it was supposed to be, like whatever the fuck, obviously Woodstock was this big, the summer of love, right? They wanted to do the 90s recreation of that. And what happened was Limp Bizkit come on the second day, and they played Lip Break Stuff, and everyone did, and it became full-on riots, and there were. Yeah. You remember this?
Yeah, it's coming back to a bit now.
Yeah, it was a full-on. Yeah, and the thing is though, I've watched the live gig. I've watched him. I'm like, that's the same shit they do everywhere. And the song's called Break Stuff, but they didn't literally mean break stuff. But the thing is, it was a huge festival. There's 400,000 people there, and it was very clear, like, well, that what happened shouldn't have been possible because there should have been security. There should have been many things in place that were not in place, and the crowd ultimately is responsible for what the crowd does. But yeah, everyone blamed Fred Durst. Everyone blamed, and he became like weirdly like most maligned. He was one of these guys who was Marmite. He was both loved and hated throughout, and then nu metal followed in suit. It was weird because he was he and nu metal were kind of inexorably tied together, and the view on it by the public, because most people didn't know what nu metal was, and then all of a sudden they saw this like riot, this massive riot, and I'll read this article. So he didn't appear in the documentary, refused to. It's called Trainwreck Woodstock '99, and there was some footage in that hadn't been seen before, and it really freaked people out. Wow. Designed to follow up the 3 days of peace and music ethos of the original '69 festival, the '99 version was marred by poor conditions, unbearably hot weather. So you can see they're getting cooked, they're in a hot field. The new 3-part film shows tension in the huge 400,000 plus crowd, led to riots, arson, multiple cases of sexual assault, and even 3 deaths.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was a big deal. For over 20 years, blame of the Woodstock '99 disaster has been laid at the door of Limp Bizkit, most notably by the festival's organiser, John Scher. CNN reported at the time that during the band's set on Saturday, more than 200 people threw bottles, smashing a barricade and nearly trampled sound system components. One woman suffered a serious head cut from a thrown bottle. Jonathan Davis, whose band Korn performed on Friday, had some harsh words. We rocked that place the first night and everyone had fun. The second night, Limp Bizkit fucked it up for everyone. They really did. He instigated the whole damn thing. I was right there watching it. Now, I've watched the footage. I don't know what he's talking about. I really don't. The main accusation centred around the band's performing the song Break Stuff, during which it's claimed the frontman incited the crowd to riot. Durst notably doesn't appear in the new Netflix documentary, but he has spoken about Woodstock '99 in the past. In a 2012 interview about Woodstock '99, he claimed, "When we were on stage, it was the greatest concert of all time. I had no idea the finger would be pointed at me as the guy started a riot, but I guess to this day it's going to be something that Limp Bizkit fucked up." He told the Washington Post, "I didn't see anyone getting hurt. You don't see that when you're up there. You're looking at a sea of people, and the stage is 20 feet in the air. You're performing. You feel your music. How do they expect us to see something bad going on? I'm not policing the whole place. The festival ended up on the Sunday night with a number of fires that were started after the group of peace campaigners gave out candles that were intended to held up aloft during headliner Chili Peppers' song Under the Bridge. But as Durst explained, they needed someone to point the finger at. They needed a scapegoat. They were not going to put it on the dumbass who handed out candles to everyone and said, let's capture a moment. I bet everyone's going to light them and hold them up. Of course they are. They're not going to do anything stupid. After these living conditions, are they going to burn it down? They're going to burn it down. So, talking to the East Stage around 8 PM on Saturday, the festival, after a comparatively sedate run of Counting Crows, Dave Matthews Band, and Alanis Morissette, of all people, the huge crowd went mental. Let's see if we can't get this motherfucking place stirred up a little bit, exclaimed Durst. In the 2012 interview, Durst was taken aback by the response the band received. I remember getting there and just going, oh my god, look at this place. This is Woodstock. What an absolute honour. We walked on stage and it was the wave of people bouncing as far as you could see. Hundreds of thousands of people. It was the most amazing adrenaline pumping moment I've ever experienced. I was so amped and ready to rock, and we did just what we do and what we always do. Halfway through the set, Durst announced they want us to ask you to mellow out a little bit. They say too many people are getting hurt. Don't let nobody get hurt. But I don't think you should have to mellow out. Mellowing out, that's what Alanis Morissette just had you motherfuckers do. Take your Birkenstocks and stick them up your fucking arse. Limp Bizkit followed this with a cover of Ministry's decidedly unmellow Thieves. After the band's seventh song, Rearranged, Durst was riding a wave of energy from the audience. He announced that Hit Break Stuff was coming up by saying, hey man, let's ask you a personal question. How many people ever woke up one morning and decided it wasn't one of those days and you're just going to break some shit? Anyway, so then you know the lyrics to Break Stuff. He went on to Break Stuff and the crowd went mad, but it was hours later that it all kicked off, really. There was some stuff while they were playing, but the fires and stuff were many bands later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can hear my personal views on the whole thing. But yeah, there's all the quotes of all the stuff he said, but it's like he's just the sort of banter he would normally chuck out. And ultimately, I don't feel like anything he says. If he said, burn this motherfucker down, right? And then he did, and we're like, well, that's their fault. Like, he's the front man. He's just saying some shit.
Yeah.
That's not. You would say that was not in good taste. That didn't turn out well. And obviously, he's never been arrested for it, but he got a lot of shit for that. I thought it was weird other bands were slagging him off because it's like that's a bit below the belt. That's a bit shitty. Anyway, but yeah.
Sometimes Thursday.
At times. It's a good documentary. No, it's not a good documentary. The documentary, it was interesting because the footage is good, but the commentary is very much, look at this scary, scary crowd. Isn't this scary? How scary. Look at all these people. And I'm looking, I'm like, that was me. They're just having fun. And like, obviously, yeah, there were some assaults and stuff, but mostly it's just like, it was just people boogieing. It was like they were having fun and they got carried away. And it's that crowd mentality, the mob mentality, when everyone's just going down that weird rabbit hole into weird fucked up land. It's really weird. Yeah. But yeah, the documentary is very much of the mind Limp Bizkit's Bad Guy, and it was really frustrating. And I couldn't watch it. I watched the first 1.5 bits. It's I think it's 3 hours. I watched like the first episode, which is an hour, then the second half, and I was like halfway through it, and I'm like, I can't watch this bullshit. This is nonsense. This is, you're so clearly in bed with the guy who runs the show. It's like it's just. He's clearly not put the security in place. Because, I mean, I've been to festivals. You've seen those big D barriers they have to protect the crowd. You have people throwing out water. You have all these provisions in place. They didn't have any of that. It was it was like a record-breaking heat wave. They didn't have any water. Everyone was dehydrated. They were super hot. They were all riled up. They didn't have anything to do. Like, as soon as the band's finished, there's nothing for everyone to do. So it's just kicking off. It was, just silly. Badly run.
Boo.
Boo.
Poo heads.
Poo heads. Final fact, me sir.
Right. Have you heard of the waterphone?
Never. Not in a million years.
You've heard it though.
Bet I have. Go on.
The waterphone is a unique handcrafted instrument. It is named after the creator Richard Waters and was patented in 1975. Today, it is scaled by both classical and film music composers. The instrument falls into the category of untuned percussion. You can be...
You mean percussion?
Did I say that? Oh, right, okay, yeah.
I was being a dick, sorry.
No, you're fine, you're fine. and can be drummed, bowed, or even can be used as a flotation device. I don't know why that's been said. The water phone consists of a diaphragm which can be filled with water. The aperture also acts as a resonator. A diaphragm and aperture resonator constitutes as a central section of the instrument, and surrounded by protruding metal rods known as tonal rods. The tonal rods surrounding the water drum are tuned to a combination of microtonal and diatonic relationships, using even and uneven increments. This gives the waterphone a very distinctive sound. So that little section, it's basically all the notes. You look at a piano. This one is like your rods are up and down.
It's not.
Yeah, it's all over the fucking place. You've not got like a set thing on it. The waterphone is only legitimately made. The waterphone is only legitimately made and sold by one company in the US states. Buying the largest one available will cost you around $1,700. So with this one, the base that it's on, you fill it full of water, and then so when you do play the rods again with the bow or whatever you choose to play it with, if you move it, the water resonates along. It makes the thing. It changes the pitch of the actual tube that you're playing. And I told you, you've heard it because this is in films and shit. And this would go really, really, really well with the Aztec death whistle. Honestly, Slayer, you're welcome. But this is what it sounds like.
That's so strange. Show me a play. It's with a bow, yeah.
Well, it can be drummed as well when you sort of like use like Yeah, but you use like soft beaters on it as well, so to hit like the diatonic sort of little bars on the end. Yeah, so it's fucking creepy as fuck, and because you know it's like if you play, again, look at a piano. You play like 3 notes apart, you most probably going to get some sort of harmony. You're going to get something quite nice. But if you play like a semitone apart, that's going to sound like shit. They're going to be really minor. So that's like the whole thing all the way around. You're not going to get any sort of harmonies around it, and it's just like evil fuck. And that's been used in a hell of a lot of spooky films.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And like I said again, pair that up with the Amazon Death Whistle, mate. You're going to have some bad shitty times.
Brown Pants.
Yeah, Brown Pants. Halloween. There you go.
Yeah, it is. That's the most Halloween instrument I know. Dude, that's a cool one to end on.
Oh.
You alright?
Yeah, I had
next some more chilies.
I had the last of the chilies, and it's hot.
They're very hot. You did very well.
Yeah.
Proud.
Oh dear.
Until we meet again.
We'll meet again.
Don't know next week. Episode 24.
Oh, mate.
But I know we'll meet again next weekend.
Yeah. Well. By the time I might have my Amazon Death Whistle and my water tone, but no, I'm not getting them. No, that'll give me nightmares.
That's what I'm like. You'd be scared to play it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared.
I'm so scared. I need my chilies and my tequila water.
Cool. Alright. Flippy D?
Yep.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
No.
No, love you, mate.
Love you, mate.
Oh yeah, that's it.
I can't seem to stop the podcast. Podcast wants to go. I left it on so you can appreciate that. Have a lovely. And I will just let it play out.
It's the chilies.
It's the chilies. It's the chilies. It's a fucking animal. I'm gonna get Katie to sort this out. Okay.
Yeah.
Night, y'all.
Bye bye.
Do you like beer?
Yeah.
Do you like beef?
Yeah.
Do you like beer next to your beef?
Fuck yeah.
What if there was beef in your beer?
Oh, yeah.
Try beef. We ferment beef with beer, we put hops on cows. I don't fucking know how it works. It's fucking wonderful. Blood red. It'll take you to bed. It's alcoholic. It's great. It's beer. It's beef.
Could that go well with my barbecue?
You can drink it, you can eat it, you can rub it on your cock.
Fuck yeah.
You can rub it on your wife.
I've just come.
Beef. Drive responsibly.